Hi, welcome to the Monday Anti-Hustle Business Coaching in the new rebranded Facebook group. I am so grateful for all of you for being here and for the new members who are joining. The group is now open to all genders, identities, expressions, and so it's great to have you here if you're brand new. Great to have you here if you've been here since the beginning. This group has changed in many different ways over the years, all the way from Traveling Wild Woman to when I was doing like adventure coaching and when I was doing more like marketing stuff, and now into like more business mindset, embodiment, all of that fun stuff. So let me know if you're here live, or if you're watching the replay, just pop it into the comments and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to, one second, just tag everybody and live now so everybody can see. Great. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have been answering, I've been taking some time to answer when you join the Facebook group. You can ask me anything. And so I'm starting to go through and answer all of the questions that we've been getting. And so today I want to talk about 5 ways to up level your coaching business. Obviously, there's going to be lots of different ways depending on where you are in your business. So I wanted to give you just some of the top things that came as I was starting to think about this. So one way that you can really start to up level and look at, let me back up. One way that you can really start to up level your business, change the trajectory of things, is when you know how to connect to your audience, when you know exactly who you're talking to, when you know exactly what you're selling. That's going to change everything, right? One of the things that I hear from a lot of people is like, I don't know what to talk about, and I don't know what I should be posting on a regular basis. So what that means to me is that we need to do some work around, what are you launching right now? Because as soon as you know what you're launching, you know what you're talking about. So we need to back up a little bit. And one of the things that I've created, and I've done lots of work or lives, and it's one of the bonuses in all of my groups, is the 7 different kinds of content. So there's lots of different things that you can be talking about and sharing stories, testimonials, case studies, very specific sales posts, addressing objections. There's lots of different things that you can talk about. So once you have that guide, you know exactly. So you have that guide, and then you know, okay, I'm talking about this program next. And so you take that framework and apply it to all of your programs, right? And so when you are super fucking clear on the results that you're getting in the specific program. So this is just so much easier when you have something to sell, when you know what you're selling and you're moving them into something, right? And so let's just say now you want to sell out your one-on-one. You need to know intimately who this is for, why they need it, what they're struggling with, what they desire, what they want to be, do, have on the other side of the program, of what they're, moving through. And you need to, so whether you need to get on the phone with people, highly recommend that. There's lots of different ways to do that. Because you need to hear from their words. You need to hear about what they're thinking about. What are they saying to themselves? What do they think the problem is? Because oftentimes the problem is not actually the problem. And that's why we do what we do, right? Is because we have a bird's eye view of what's going on. And this is literally our niche and what we're doing, right? And so we need to hear what they think the problem is, and then know what questions to ask them. So then we can actually diagnose what we think the problem is. Sometimes people are spot on, oftentimes, and a lot of times in business too, people think it's one thing, and then we start to back up. They think like, oh, my message isn't clear. Well, are you booking calls with people? Yeah, I'm booking calls with people. Okay. And then what happens? Well, we talk about the program, but then they don't sign on. So the problem isn't the messaging, the problem is the sales process, but people don't know, right? Like they start trying to poke at things and they don't necessarily know what the actual problem is. So get on the phone, talk to people, understand your audience deeply, understand what they're going through, why they need this. You can design your program. So all this information is also going to help inform what you're going to cover in your program, what you're going to talk about on social media. You can address their objections directly. You can address their desires and needs and wants more directly. So speak directly to their needs, and then make sure that you tie your program into what they're looking for. So if they're looking for something, what part of your program addresses that directly? And you could even say stuff like, oh, in module 2, we cover this thing so that you can experience these things, so that we can get really clear on your messaging, so you know exactly who you're talking to, so that it makes your marketing so much easier. And by the time you get on the phone with your people, it feels like you're catching up with an old friend. That's what I do in my marketing, right? So knowing that people want to have things, they want things to feel easier, they want things to feel lighter, they want to have more love, but getting really clear on what's underneath that. So knowing what the benefits are of the benefits, and this is how you really start to build the interest in your program and what you're selling. So know how you help people, how you help them achieve the results that they're looking for, and then fucking yell it from the rooftops. You cannot talk about your program too much between the algorithm and the internet being so fucking noisy. People need so many touch points, probably more than we've all been taught. Like marketing's always said like, oh, you need like 7 to 10 touch points. I feel like it's just so much more at this point because consumers are smarter. There are lots of people doing the same things. So they need to know why you specifically are the person that they want to buy from. And this is where you get to shine in your personality, talk about your client results, all of these things. So let me know what's coming up for you around this point in particular. And if this is something that you see available for you, and if this is something that you need to work on. So the next part is obviously mindset. Mindset matters. There is so much to this. I want to make sure that I'm getting, so not just the mindset piece, but also the embodiment, the nervous system regulation, where you're holding yourself through it. You know how to think about things, feel about things, do your visioning work. This is what's going to set you apart. So you work on your mindset to align your thoughts and your nervous system with these big ass goals. So you want to be stretching yourself. It's super important, but you also want to make sure that your goals feel like they're reachable and that they're attainable. Sometimes we want to set goals that are like, this feels really fucking ridiculous, but you know what? I've done some crazy shit. So why couldn't I pull this off? Right. But you don't want to be setting goals that are like going to blow your system out, that you're like, there's no fucking way this is going to happen, because you're not on board. So you need to have your mind and your body on board. Sometimes that means lowering your rates. Sometimes it means selling people into, even just like one person, into a lower investment so that you can get that momentum, get the money coming in, prove to yourself that you can do it. And then like, you don't have to wait until you have 5 clients in order to raise your rates. You can literally just get the one client, get them in, get the money coming in, build your confidence, start getting testimonials, start sharing results, right? And then you can immediately raise your rates if your system and your brain are on board. So this is the work that I do with all of my clients and all of my programs, particularly in my one-on-one program, which I've opened up 3 different spots for my one-on-one. There are 2 spots in my coaching light program, which is something that I just opened up just for fun. And it is 2 calls a month for $1,000 a month, email support. And then the other one is my full package with copy support, client portal, all of the things. And that one's $2,000 a month. So this is what we're doing in that program particularly, is we're really looking at your mindset. We are really looking at how are you setting your goals? How do you feel about your goals? Where do we need to raise your rates? Where do we need to get your body on board? How do we just start to really dial in this mindset piece? Because this will make or break things. So mindset, the embodied journaling, somatic practices, tools, emotional regulation, all of the things that are really going to make a difference in your business. So the third way to really start to up-level your business is to look at your systems and implement the systems. This is where people really start to trip themselves up. I've seen too many times people say, oh, I want to have 10K months, but they don't have the infrastructure of their business to be able to handle the level of business and the money and the systems and the things that need to take place in your business to maintain a 10K cash month business. There are things that you need in place, and also things that need to be in place so that your client experience is not affected. Because if you are having 10K months, you have more clients, you're probably, depending on how you're structuring your business, right? So you probably have a decent amount of one-on-one clients. There's probably a group coming in now. So there are different things that need to be in place in order for you to still show up and serve your clients at this level. So scaling without a strong foundation can lead to burnout, overwhelm, crashing and burning. I've seen it so many times. And there are ways to mitigate this, which is getting your system set up from the beginning. And you don't need to buy the different platforms right away. But what you do need to be doing is thinking forward of, how do I systematize things and get things ready for when I am finally, when it's the time to hire team, right? So this is why I am a huge stickler on content banks for my one-on-one clients, because this is something that trips a lot of people up. And it's so simple, but people don't do it, which is simply copying and pasting your content and putting it into a content bank, whether that's in Airtable, Google Docs. There's other platforms, right, that you can use where you're putting your content for your launches in particular places, so that when you are ready to hand over your social media stuff to somebody, they have a whole ass content bank where they can repurpose, they can, whether it's like a copywriter coming in or they're doing, they're punching up your copy or whatever, it's all there. You can just hand that over, and it's just so lovely when you don't have to do this yourself anymore, right? It's really easy to get tempted to go too big, too fast, start spreading yourself out, and then not have the infrastructure built into your business. And this is a surefire way to crash and obliterate your 10K months, because you can't handle it. Your nervous system can't handle it. So systems and processes matter. If you don't have these in your business and you're already past 5K, moving into the next Ks, this is something that we need to talk about and look at, because this is a big bottleneck in a lot of businesses. Conversely, sometimes people are hiring too quickly and they aren't paying attention to their profit margins. They're not paying attention to their recurring revenue. So they're hiring out too fast, paying too much money that's going out. And they haven't, again, built that infrastructure of the different programs, payment plans, and the reoccurring revenue. And so they can't pay themselves. They can't pay their team. They have to let people go. So this can get messy, and it doesn't have to be. The number 4 way to start up leveling your business and just taking things to the next level is getting support. You do not have to do this alone. You can't do this alone. If you are moving into those higher cash months, you simply can't do it all. And so whether it's a coach or a mentor, it's me or somebody else, having support is crucial. We coaches are able to give our clients a different perspective. We provide accountability. We can see things that you can't see, right? I have this multiple six-figure business. I have helped clients go start from scratch, like getting hired by their first client, all the way to multiple six figures. And I have a seven-figure client. She owns multiple salons. She has a consulting and coaching business, right? So I have helped people build things up. I have an eye. I can see things that you can't see. I can offer perspectives and insight into things that maybe when you're in tunnel vision of like, well, I saw somebody else doing this, or I saw somebody else doing that. It seems like it's working for them, right? That's not how you want to build your business. You want somebody who can say, hey, look, I know what your patterns are. I feel like this is something that we talked about a couple months ago, where, you said you wanted this thing. That's where we were going. And now you're switching gears. And this feels like you're doing that thing again. Does it feel like you're doing that thing again? Right? Like, this is what trips us up unless we have somebody being like, hey, pump the brakes. Like, I know you're super fucking excited and you're allowed to you can make any decision that you want to make, right? But my job with my clients is to be like, okay, hold on, like, let's just pause and take a breather. And I just want to understand your thought process around this. And what are you hoping to get out of this? Is this getting closer to our goal of working less, playing more, or is this putting more on your plate unnecessarily? And of course, you get to make the decision yourself. But for me to just pause and be like, what's happening? Tell me more about this, right? You can't, it's really, really fucking hard to do that on your own and have that objective, voice to help you sort through things, right? So we're here to shorten the learning curve. I made mistakes so that you don't have to make mistakes. I can tell you when I see things with either my own business or with my clients, like, I don't want to say like this is exactly what's going to happen, but I've seen this happen multiple times. And usually this is what I see and how this plays out. What if we were to do it this way? This is how I've seen my clients have the most success. This is where I've seen the most success. How does this feel for you, right? Yes, you ultimately get to make the decisions. And sometimes it's just like, great, like, cool, let's see how this turns out. We could both be surprised, who knows, right? But we really are here to shorten the learning curve so that you don't have to make the same mistakes, period. And number 5, I'm just checking in on comments. Yeah, I love you as my coach, checking in with my bandwidth. Yeah, like, thanks for saying that. So like, that's literally my job, right? And I'm also, I'm always deconditioning from hustle. It is deep, deep, deep in us, right? Like, we're born into capitalism. We're born into, corporate culture. And also, I've been doing this consistently for 3 years. So I'm ahead of the game, right? So my lens is always going to be from this anti-hustle. How do we make this fucking easier? How do we take more things off your plate? Where are you overcomplicating things? How do we recycle, repurpose, reuse content, things that you've done, all of that, right? So that things can run smoothly. So you're not always reinventing the wheel. And a lot of my clients are like, oh, I can do that? Like, I didn't know that I could repurpose this. I didn't know that I could use that as a bonus. I didn't know that I could do that as a promo event. That sounds fucking fun. That sounds really easy. Great. Then let's do that. And I just feel like as humans, it's our tendency to be like, this feels too easy. How do I fuck it up somehow? Myself included. But this is what I see clients like, does it really get to be this fun? Like, because we're so conditioned that Working has to be hard. It has to be difficult. It can't come easy. If it comes easy to us, then we're probably doing it wrong, or we're fucking somebody over, or we're missing a step and we're going to fuck this up, right? There's like so many different stories around this. But when you're really fucking good at what you do, of course it's going to be easy. Of course it's going to be fun. That's why I started my business. That's why I help my clients run their businesses, because they're really fucking good at what they do. And my job is to help them get out of their own way so that they stop overcomplicating things, put the thing out to fucking sell it, and go make money and go on vacation. That's what I want for all of my clients. Okay, so number 5, delegate wisely. So as your business starts to grow, things start to explode, your business thrives, really focus on what you excel at. It is not your job to learn different platforms. And this is once you get to the higher levels, right? Because I fully get that when you're just starting out, you usually have more time than money. And so you have the time to learn MailChimp, or I don't know, Thinkific. That's a pretty meaty platform if you ask me. But maybe you're doing your own website on Squarespace or something, right? Because you have more time than money. But once you get up into the 5K plus mark, it's really time to, because you're spending more time on shit that you don't need to be doing, that's taking up your brain and your bandwidth. And when you can delegate that to somebody who can whip emails up in 10 minutes, right? Or who knows Thinkific and has set up those portals many times, where it's going to take you hours and days or weeks to set things up, right? Fucking hand it over, because now your brain isn't bogged down with trying to figure out this fucking plugin or trying to do this thing and falling asleep at the computer and crying and banging your head against the wall. That is not how we want you running your business. So when you're at this level, and maybe it's a little bit before, but usually around the 5K a month mark, that's where things really start to shift. And where I see people, unless they start to invest in an assistant or even somebody who you're hiring out to do like projects, you don't have to have them on retainer where you're paying them every month yet. That's the goal, right? But that's like, it's like where you're stepping, like when you're like 0 to 5K, like you're learning all the basics, you're learning all the things, and you're learning how to invest at a higher level. But when you take there's fireworks, there's no guns here, so it's not a gun, but it scared me. When you are like going from like 5K to 10K and you're pulling your foot out of the bootstrapping, do it yourself, I can do all of this on my own, I'm going to save money, and you move into the next level of mindset for thinking like a CEO and realizing, okay, I'm going to take the leap and spend money on this person, knowing that it's going to free up my time. So now I have more time to coach, so I can launch this group program and bring more money in to pay for this person, right? So there's definitely a dance there, but that's really how this starts to go. So if you're going around the 5K mark, or you're coming up on the 5K mark, this is where we come back to your mindset. We really want to get you thinking like a CEO and thinking about who you're investing in to help you, what this is going to look like, what you want to get off your plate first, and really shifting into, this is a business investment. It is, this is going to move my business forward, and not thinking of it of like, oh God, like I have to spend this money, and right, like there's this scarcity that comes up. And so as you're doing your mindset work and you're moving out of the bootstrapping scarcity, which is like, sometimes we're in that place for a long time. I was in that mindset for fucking years before, like 5 years in the DIY. And I had like help here and there, right? But when I scaled my business back, I let go of everybody. And then was kind of in that mindset again until 2020. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to be making the money that I want to be making, I'm going to have to fucking hire somebody to help me do this. So that's where you kind of make sure we're all in. That's where you really want to shift your mindset into this is a business decision. Thinking about your company now, it's not just you. You have a company to run. And so if this company is going to have the numbers that I want to have, I have to invest like I own a fucking company. I have to start investing and moving my business forward and delegating the things that I'm not good at. So really start to think about what are you not good at? What tech is tripping you up? What's your onboarding process look like? There's other like non-essential tasks that you don't need to be involved in. You can't outsource the work that you do with your clients. Sure, you could hire a copywriter, but that's like way down the road, right? Right now you want to be thinking of like onboarding, any tech stuff, um, even like repurposing content where you write the content and then it gets repurposed by somebody else. So these are all things that you want to start to think about. So there's no reason why you should be learning a new platform if that's not what you're coaching around. And especially as you're moving into those 5K, moving into 10K months. So time to hire, free up that space. And then also it just allows you to have like these bigger visions and you can start dreaming and you can start to like think forward as a business owner and as a visionary in your company because you're not bogged down by this like bullshit that you don't need to be doing. So that is what I have for you today on how 5 ways to up level your business to really start to take things to the next level. Let me know your thoughts. What's come up for you? What do you see available for you? And if you want to chat about working together one-on-one, like I said, I have the 2 spots in my coaching light program, and then 1 spot available in my full service package with copy support, email support, Voxer. So you have me in your back pocket. There's 3 calls a month. There's lots of stuff that we do in those 2 programs. So send me a DM, drop me a note, and let's see which one is the best fit for you. It's late. I got to go to bed. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I appreciate you all for being here, and I will see you next week. Okay, ciao, bye.